Snipers, you have to see what's happening in the cryptocurrency market today as the Bitcoin price is clearly coming down to test the extremely important support level at 32,000 US dollars, where we have this triangle formation and we have this low and higher low. And at this point, if 32,000 were to break, we are going to see another low form beyond this higher low, and that would confirm a breakdown scenario. And if we were to take the schematics of this triangle, because our Twitter has been blowing up asking about the downside scenario for Bitcoin, I'm going to go into the exact downside scenario. The schematics of this triangle says that the $20,000 level is on the table, and notice how that shows confluence with this extremely multi-year support level that started from the initial drop here when we saw the March 2020 price below 4,000 US dollars, and we found support here that shows confluence at this extremely important level that we are currently testing right now. And notice how this is also the level where we have the previous all-time high at 19,798 looking at the Binance chart, and then the $18,460 level, which is also an extremely key level for Bitcoin. And if we look at the weekly chart, it is not a coincidence that this is also showing confluence here with the 100-week moving average. And so are we going to see Bitcoin come down to the $20,000 level? I'm going to talk about the downside scenario, and more importantly, what we're going to do today is we're going to look at levels inside of this range between 35,000 US dollars and 24,000 US dollars that are also extremely important, so we can understand where the volume might come in if we start to see the downside scenario play out, because it is clear we have to address this. And as an umpire, if we look at the weekly candle on the 21st of December, and we look at the candle high here, notice how the candle high is 28,422. And so we're going to put this here as an extremely important level at 28,420, just to round the number. And then if we look at the candle low the week after, on the 28th of December, the candle low at 25,880 on the dot is also going to be an extremely important level. So we have that $25,880 level, and this right here is a pocket now that Bitcoin has the potential to come in. And in my opinion, we're going to see volume come in below the $30,000 level if we breach this low. And I say that because if we go into the 6-hour chart, and institutions sometimes like to avoid the 240-minute chart, which is the 4-hour chart, because a lot of traders are on that chart, and so they will imprint their moves on different time frames. The 6-hour chart obviously shows that there's a lot of buy pressure here, but we are starting to see the sellers come in and bring the price down. And so if this triangle breaks to the downside at 32,000 US dollars, we've already come down to test the support, and that's why I had to get this update to you guys. You can see the candle and daily low right now is 31,710, but of course, on a 4-hour candle, we've maintained ourselves at this support. We haven't yet broken the support, so there's no confirmation, but this is coming towards a point where Bitcoin is going to make a decision. And for those that are tuned into our Twitter, notice how on our Twitter, we tweeted out Bitcoin about to show weakness 13 hours ago when the Japanese markets opened down 2% for the day, gapping down. The traditional markets affect the cryptocurrency markets, so we sent out this tweet. For those not following us on Twitter, make sure to go to the link in the description below, follow us on Twitter. But when we look at what's happening here to Bitcoin, we have to realize that this support level is being tested right now. And if we see this break to the downside, there is a pocket here at 28,420, which is going to act as an extremely important support level for Bitcoin. And below that, we have 25,880. And so inside of this pocket between 26,000 and 28,500, in my opinion, is going to be the area that you would want to start dollar cost averaging positions into Bitcoin for a long-term hold, because in my opinion, there are several downside scenarios and several levels of severity that we could see. And I'm going to condense them down into 3 different scenarios. If Bitcoin crosses that $32,000 support level once again, and we start to see hourly and 4-hour confirmations, there is a potential we come down to 28,420. I believe that there will be some volume in this area, but I also believe that wicks are highly likely. And so the first scenario would be a wick inside of the pocket between 28,420 and 25,880. If we see a more extreme level of severity with this sell-off, depending on the volume, then we want to look at the pocket here at 25,880 and 24,000 US dollars. If we see the most severe scenario of the downside, in my opinion, it is highly likely that 20,000 gets tested again at 19,798, and that would be my worst case scenario for this bear market. And I say that confidently because I believe this is going to be an extended bull market that has a mini bear market inside of it. I don't believe the fundamentals have changed for the cryptocurrency market. Long term, I am extremely bullish. And so this is the worst case scenario, in my opinion, at 20,000 US dollars. And it's not a coincidence that on the weekly chart, what do we also have at that level showing confluence? We have the 100-week moving average. And so I think this was an important scenario to address because it is on the table, and I have to be as transparent as possible with you guys. And so when we look at the more micro time frames on this weekly chart, it wouldn't be a surprise to see that level tested. And I believe there is going to be a lot of volume below 30,000, and it's really up to the severity of what we're going to see to determine whether or not we're going to see this play out all the way down to the $20,000 level. And so we have to just monitor the key levels on the way. We know there are several roadblocks. If we start to see volume at those levels, that could be an indicator that that's it for the downside. This is an extremely bullish market in the macro, and I always want to maintain that statement and that stance, even as the umpire, realize that I dedicate my time to cover the Bitcoin market specifically. We do cover every other market outside of that, but I dedicate my time to Bitcoin because I believe in this market. And you guys are watching the Snipers channel. My name is Naeem Al-Abeidi. Remember to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. So that's the downside scenario for Bitcoin. You like how I just shoved it into the intro? Well, now let's look at what could we see in the more micro time frames to confirm these scenarios. Well, let's first start on the 4-hour time frame. So at this point, there's clear sell pressure with Bitcoin right now, testing the 32,000 US dollar level. If we start to see continued sell pressure and a breach of 32,000, in my opinion, we're going to see one of these downside scenarios play out. We need to monitor 28,420, 25,880, and 23,795. Those are going to be the first areas that we're going to start to see buyers come in. And then, of course, the $20,000 level or just below that is going to be the worst case scenario. If we were to talk exact numbers, we can say 18,660 is the most absolute bearish scenario I could see right now based on what the chart is telling us. And so that is the downside scenario. Now, what are the early signs of a rescue operation? So I'd like to keep things simple. There's two scenarios, right? The early signs of a rescue operation at this point is reclaiming 34,800. If we can get above that, that is very positive in my opinion. That would be the most preferred scenario because then this would still be considered just another higher low. As much as most of you don't want to hear that, yes, it's very close to the previous higher low, but it would still be considered a higher low. And so we have to keep that scenario on the table for the upside. If we reclaim 34,800, then above the weekly open here at 36,000, I think is when we'll start to be a little bit more comfortable with the market, assuming an upside scenario. But for now, we have to address the downside. And when we look at the environment outside of Bitcoin, we'll cover altcoins here. Ethereum, of course, the main altcoin, just as we've been talking about, already coming down below 2,000 US dollars with a low right now of 1890 for the day. It looks like we're going to head down, possibly test the $1,500 level. We want to monitor this chart because the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart is showing that we could see a scenario now where Ethereum from its current point can still come down up to 14% and still be in a bullish macro flag, but still see that 14% downside. And if we were to just match that with the Ethereum to US dollar chart, then we're looking at a price of just around that $1,600 to $1,500 area. So could we see Ethereum show more volatility than Bitcoin? I think that's clear right now. Which one is going to be the stronger asset? During times of fear in the cryptocurrency market, Bitcoin is always a stronger asset. And you can see here that's clear with the total cryptocurrency market cap now showing a decisive break of the 200-day moving average, heading towards the $1.13 trillion market cap level, currently sitting at $1.35 trillion in market cap. we want to monitor this chart. Bitcoin dominance here on the daily chart. You can see we're showing strength right now. It looks like we want to come up to 50% dominance. That typically happens when there's fear in the market. So I'm not saying that altcoins are in a bear market, because I'm still taking longs on altcoins, and I do that because it's the only chart that's actually still in a bull market. It's above the 20-week moving average and home base. So altcoins are still very good, but you can't be in these fundamentally broke altcoins, is like what I like to call them, like, you know, these meme coins or these hype coins like Dogecoin, right? Those are the ones that are going to see the most severe downside in these bear markets. So stick to coins that have fundamentals, and, you know, that's a whole nother topic outside of technical analysis, but altcoins are still doing fine above the 20-week moving average. So we'll monitor this, but let's talk about what's happening in the traditional market. So obviously this is all happening prior to the market open, just like we predicted yesterday. I said, if we start to see Monday open up and we had a retest and we didn't break the previous weekly open with Bitcoin, if you guys watched the video yesterday, for those subscribed to the YouTube channel, I talked about the scenario where we'd come down, retest that, and just get rejected. It's exactly what's happening. And we look at the traditional markets, the DXY, just doing a garden variety market retest of an important level, but it's still in an extremely bullish rally right now. And this has only been progressing for the last 4 days at this point. And so this is a rocket that has yet to be stopped, and we need to watch this, because right now the markets are adjusting to what the DXY is doing. And it's clear right now the S&P 500, we did gap down. If we were to just pull up the SPY chart, not the futures chart, for the largest traditional market in the world, the strongest traditional market, you can see we did gap down. We could just come up, fill this gap, and continue lower. It looks like that's what we want to do here. And I say that because the largest market outside of the S&P 500, Japan, is how we predicted the drop before we breached 36,000 yesterday. I said we're going to come down because of what happened when we saw Japanese markets open. You can see we're down, showing a lot of bearish price action. And then outside of markets like, you know, the CSI 300 also showing weakness. So we need to address the weakness in the markets, especially the traditional markets, because it's all happening because of the DXY. And right now, Bitcoin is adjusting to this. So we're going to continue to monitor the DXY. But for Bitcoin right now, we're at a very critical level. And so I wanted to just address the most severe downside scenario that I could see right now, and also where we need to get to claim a rescue operation. And with that, I do want to pick a giveaway winner for one of my favorite books on investing, Mastering Bitcoin. If you want to win this book, comment below, share this video. Remember to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. I appreciate each and every one of you snipers tuned into our channel. Let's see. ZM Top Reason says, when Naeem got him glasses, you know he ain't playing. You want a book, brother? Send me a message on Instagram. The link is in the description below. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Until next time, snipers.